Call him in for Chifley.
Thanks, Deputy Speaker. I wanted today, in particular, to obviously note the contribution of what I consider a former colleague. We are here today respecting, regardless of politics, someone who was a member of this parliament, and to honour what they had contributed. But I, at this point, think very deeply of the family and Mrs Randall, and Elliot and Tess, and I deliberately mention Elliot first because in a family where sibling position is often contested, I respect that from time to time it's good to get the name up the pecking order, and I say that as the eldest born. But I know in this place that consumes so much, particularly having heard, seen and know of the demands, the very onerous demands it places on family. This is, as much as we respect the contribution of Don Randall, we also honour the fact that you made sacrifices to allow him to do all those things that people spoke about today, and remember warmly of him. He had to make sacrifices, and he was not always there as the husband and father that many others can rely upon because of the dedication of his service. So as much as we dedicate him, we dedicate you all here today. And if I may say, Mrs Randall, people will remember your husband for many things. I remember him being softly spoken. This will sound to some who have heard his robust contributions, as has been reflected on, as not necessarily the thing they remember. But I remember it for this reason. He was softly spoken with strong belief. He was softly spoken because he would also respect other views. And he would speak with you if you had a different view, and his voice was never raised. And in a place where it is marked by raised voices and the fury of raised voices, this is something to me that I always remember of him, and I respect of him. And it is something that I think we all can learn from, that despite the strength of belief and the vigour of that belief, that you do so in a way that you try to actually learn. And he and I did have differences. Today is not the day to mark, remember or recount those differences. He and I had differences. But I will always remember his approach, and it is always something not just for remembering but for of ourselves that we are better of through that memory. And his mark on me as an individual parliamentarian of a different political party is to remember that. So there have been many things that have been recounted of him today. This is only my modest contribution in this broader memory. And if I may say this, Prime Minister, I'm not often one to compliment you, and I don't think you're troubled by that. But I do respect the fact that a man of your position, a person of your position, has been here for the duration. And I think this reflects, on this side, the Prime Minister's respect of your husband. I don't say that, please do not read that in any other thing, but as much as we're combatants, I do respect the fact that you have lost one of your own, but we have lost a parliamentarian, and we've also lost an Australian. The most eerie thing about these contributions, if I can end on this point, is that that clock doesn't record any time. It just stands still. Every time we have these condolences, I think of that point. And it reminds us we don't have time. But your husband, he will always have used every minute of his time and every second of his time doing what he believed was right. And he has no need for regret, because he did, to his full heart and to his full sincerity, everything he could for the people he represented, regardless of our political differences. And this is something that we should always be grateful for. Thank you.